You think you lost your spark. You didn't. You finished what it came for. And the Japanese called this Wabi-Sabi, which is the opposite of what you have been told it means. There was an old painter named Soshu who lived at the edge of a village in the mountains north of Kyoto. For 50 years, his hands had not been still. His paintings hung in temples. His brush had taught a generation. Then one autumn, he stopped. He did not announce it. He simply did not paint that day, or the next. The villagers grieved for him quietly. They said his talent had left him. They brought him gifts and looked at him with the careful kindness reserved for people who are slowly disappearing. Soshu said nothing. He sat in his garden in the mornings. He drank tea in the afternoons. The brushes lay where he had left them, the ink slowly drying in the stone. Then, one day, a child from the village came to his gate. She was 7. She did not know about the talent or the temples. She tilted her head and asked him a single question. Why did you stop? Something about that question would not let him go. He told himself he was simply resting, that the work would return when it was ready. But the question sat in his chest through the long evenings. So he went back to the brushes. He set the paper. He ground the ink. He painted a heron in flight, the way he had painted 10,000 times. The technique was perfect. The brushwork was clean. He had not lost a thing. He looked at it for a long time. It was dead. He painted another, a pine branch, a mountain at dusk. Each one technically flawless, each one empty. The hand still new, but something inside the work had gone. He sat with this for many days. He had been certain when he stopped that something in him had broken. Now he knew it had not. The hand worked. The eye worked. The problem was not that he had lost the painting. The painting had finished. Not because he had run out of work, because the work had quietly arrived at what it was for, and he had not noticed it crossing the line. He had spent 50 years learning to paint. There was nothing left to paint toward. The Japanese have a word for this. They call it Wabi-Sabi. Most translations stop at imperfection and transience. But Wabi-Sabi points at something deeper. The moment a thing stops becoming and starts simply being. A weathered wooden gate. A moss-covered stone. A bowl whose glaze has changed color with decades of use. Not despite the aging, because of it. The garden is grown. The wood has aged. The painter, after 50 years, has arrived. Some fires are meant to go out, because the thing they were lighting is already burning. Soshu walked outside. He noticed the morning light falling across his unwashed brushes. He noticed the cracks in his old tea bowl. He noticed his own hands, older than he remembered them being. He had been trying to use the old eyes for work that no longer needed making. He was not finished. He had finished. There was a difference. He did not pick up the brushes again. He began to walk in the mornings, sitting in the temple to watch the light move across the floor. He looked at his own garden as though it were a painting someone else had made. Months passed. The child returned to his gate. She was a little older now. She asked the same question. He smiled. "I have not stopped," he said. "I am finally seeing." That is not a small thing. What you may be calling burnout might be completion you have not learned to recognize. Wabi-Sabi names a moment you have been trying to push past. So 3 things to carry with you. 1. Hold something old today. Look at what time has done that no one designed. 2. Stop producing for 1 full day. Watch what your eyes are drawn to instead. 3. Ask what your work was for, not what it produced. You have not lost the spark. You may simply be standing in the light it left behind. What is the thing in your life you have been calling lost that might actually be finished? Drop it in the comments. Thank you for being here. Somewhere in the mountains north of Kyoto, an old painter is watching the morning light move slowly across a stone floor. The brushes, untouched, rest in their place. They are not waiting. They are at peace.